Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Colin on Talking Ball, and you are here for the very first episode of Speculation Nation. I'm here with Mari, my good friend, and yeah, we're gonna speculate about Harry Kane today. What's up,
All
Mari?
right. Doing good, doing good. A lot of news, a lot of speculations out there, so got a lot to talk about.
Oh, definitely, man. I guess we'll just start we'll just jump right into it. The Sun, the article, the front page article in the Sun. Um, Harry Kane's leaving to Man City for 160 million. They say. Do you buy
Yeah.
it?
I don't. When I saw the report, I didn't buy it because it came from the Sun. There's bunch of tabloids, the Daily Mail, the Sun, the Mirror, that I don't usually take credence to. There's certain magazines, certain publications that I do when I see them. Like, oh, okay, maybe the Times, um, definitely anything from the London papers, meaning Ali Gold or Rob Guest, or a couple of the other writers, and then of course for Fabrizio and Demarza. But you could kind of tell. I was telling a friend that it's so interesting, with the media here in the States, where you don't really usually have that. People don't usually put outrageous speculations. One thing I've learned over the years that when it comes to the European press, you have tiers, levels of just speculation. So when I saw the Sun, I'm like, come on now, this is not legit. Apparently, the the person that leaked it is a good friend of Charlie Kane, and if Charlie Kane is releasing leaks, then that's gonna make Daniel Levy really mad. Because remember what Daniel Levy said maybe a month ago, that he was angry about the interview that Kane made and some other stuff that leaked out.
Yeah, man.
So, so if you think Levy is mad now, if this is true that Charlie leaked out some stuff, man, yeah, good luck getting that transfer.
Yeah, no. Which brings me. I mean, you see the new banner not there down there. Charlie Kane, Snake, or not maybe. But I mean, if he's coming out and releasing stuff like this, yeah, he's sabotaging the club. Really, he's forcing Daniel Levy's hand, and I have a hard time believing that Man City are going to pay 160 mil in cash. Any deal they've had so far, I think the club said that we've received one bid for 100 mil, and their next bid is just going to be 60 million more. It's hard for me to believe.
Yeah, no, it's I keep telling people, the people like, oh, he could be sold. I'm like, to get a deal like this done, it's extremely complex. Because right now, I know for a fact, Daniel Levy, 150, 160, that's the price. That
Yeah,
is the price. But the problem is, Manchester City refuses to go anywhere near there. And here's the reasons why. They're not buying a 23-year-old. This is not Earl Holland that they're buying, let
right.
alone a guy who has weak ankles. And that's why it's so important for us, to really get a backup striker. Because we've learned the last couple of years, Harry Kane can't play a whole full year. I mean, this last past year, he played most of it, which was good. But he's always a injury waiting to happen. So to pay 160 for someone who, yeah, he's the best, one of the best, I think the best striker in the world,
Yeah,
but also injury prone, and then tell from his age, it is. I mean, it's just mad for someone to pay that price. So I, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I doubt that.
And
Yeah.
another reason I doubt it also, and another reason why is we haven't seen any links to strikers really, other than like that very tenuous link to Danny Ings.
Mhm.
There hasn't really been a lot linking us to strikers. And you'd think with all the leaks about us apparently being in for all the other players that we've been all the midfielders and defenders that we've been linked to. You'd think there'd be some striker links sprinkled in there if we had any intention of actually letting Kane go.
No, exactly. The only one we could think of is Danny Ings, like you said, and we don't have a great relationship with Southampton. We burned that bridge. So if they're gonna deal with us with Danny Ings, they're going to ask for the world. So it's yeah, I just think though I still think we're gonna get someone to pair with Kane because that's the rumor that Nuno wants two strikers. People saying Sonny, but I'm thinking somebody else. Um, but we have to have a backup. So I mean, we lost Vinicius. Well, not lost Vinicius, but we chose not to renew Vinicius.
Yeah,
So we're gonna need someone because, like I said, Harry Kane's track record is that he's not gonna be there the whole season for you.
very true. I just I have a hard time believing it, but this is speculation nation. I mean, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna assume Daniel Levy's accepted the bid, and maybe that's where some of this money is coming from with these links we've seen for these defenders. Who could you see then, though, being a replacement for Harry Kane? Like, who would you, if you had a choice and you could? I don't think there's very many people on the market. You know,
there's not, and the one name that popped up in my head, but I didn't even know that they left their current squad and went to Leipzig. My dream scenario is we have a great year. We make the Champions League. Harry Kane says, "Hey, I'm gonna stay." But if he's still adamant about going, let's just say, because it's speculation nation, he's adamant about going after this year, even if we made top four, right? He wants a guaranteed Premier League title with Manchester City. Okay. The person that I want to get, he'll be probably 1 year under Leipzig, but with the Harry Kane money, the next following year, the perfect striker that I would want, and I thought they were available, but I did cross my mind that they just signed with Leipzig, is Andre Silva.
Oh, he did. When did that signing go through? Was that?
I didn't even know. I looked it up. I was like, why he doesn't play for Frankfurt?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking. I was like, 2021 Leipzig. I was like, when did they pick him up? I mean, it just went under the radar. But Leipzig is also a selling club.
Well, yeah, it's weird though because he was originally an AC Milan player that was just on loan. I thought to Frankfurt anyway. So this is there's a lot there that I wasn't paying attention to.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Apparently he's in Leipzig, and so, and like I said, they're a selling club for the right price.
Yeah.
He would be perfect. The reason is he's 6'1", because I want likeness for likeness. Kane's 6'2", 30 goals. The guy knows how to score goals. That's who I want. And 10 assists. That's perfect.
Yeah, no,
he is
ticks all the boxes.
Perfect replacement, and he's Portuguese, which our coach is Portuguese.
Yeah.
So he would be perfect this year, but he just got sold, so he'll be perfect next year.
Right. I hope the price doesn't just go up and up. I mean, he's probably going to have an amazing season, and that price will just go up, unfortunately. But like you said. If we keep Harry this year and then he's sold next year, that money would fund the transfer easily. But that's awesome. I hadn't really thought much about that Portuguese connection, and having Nuno will help. That'll be some pull there. That's really an aspect I hadn't thought of enough. Awesome.
Yeah, and even and if we have a good season, we make the Champions League. He will easily. Want to facilitate that move. Like, okay, they're in Champions League, they're in the Premier League. I want to prove myself. I already played in the Bundesliga between Frankfurt and Leipzig. Hey, why don't I just try out the Premier League with a coach who understands me, my culture, and stuff. So yeah.
That's definitely a good shout, man. Let's speculate some more. I don't know. Daniel Levy's taken some punts on some big name-ish European players. We had the Soldado flop.
Oh yeah.
Right. Jansen wasn't a big name, but he was seen as the next big thing. Coming up. But understandably, it was in the Dutch league. But regardless, we haven't had a good track record with players from outside the league. Can you see any strikers within the Premier League that we could potentially go for? You think that would be a realistic get? That's another thing, because there's some players. There was talk of Tammy Abraham being included in a deal with Chelsea. I don't really want him, but if what players do you like in the Premier League, striker wise?
Well, going to Abraham, not very, not really a big fan of him, but also Chelsea doesn't deal with us. We don't do deals with Chelsea. So when people are saying Tuchel wants Kane, I'm like, that's never going to ever happen.
Good luck.
Yeah, we don't ever deal with Chelsea. I mean, if there's two teams we won't deal with, Chelsea and Arsenal. I mean, anybody else, okay. Um, I doubt they'll sell him because they just moved up from the championship. Tony from
Brentford. Yeah, wow, yeah.
He would be perfect, and he may be a name on the list for the next following year. But he'll be someone like this year, be like, oh, yeah, Brentford, here you go, boom, like because we missed our chance with Ollie Watkins. I was so big on Ollie Watkins, and we let him go to
Aston Villa, right?
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, okay, got Ollie Watkins, and so another striker. I don't know what. I mean, Everton has a new coach, so I don't know what they. I don't know if it's interesting what's going on at Everton right now. But Calvert-Lewin is one that I like.
Oh yeah, he's a quality player for sure.
And he will definitely get you 15, 16 goals, which we need. But another person, I would take, but I know a lot of people like him, but he's short. He's 5'9", Danny Ings, and I mean when he's healthy, he scores goals. And that one year he did score like 22 goals. But I would definitely go after Calvert-Lewin and Tony.
Before you would go for Ings.
Before I go there for Ings, yeah.
Well, since we're speculating, and it's speculation nation, I have a bad feeling that Ings is going to be where we end up going. I think we could do a lot worse, maybe, but yeah, I see that, and I don't see it going terribly. He provides some of the things that Kane does. His hold up play is good. He can find the back of the net. He's not pacey. He's not going to beat anybody for pace. But he's a presence there in the box. Not tall, like you said, but strong.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling though that we're going to go into the season with him as our main striker, with Sonny as backup striker, air quotes, and then Scarlett at third choice.
We will definitely have to pay, because what I'm hearing, Southampton does not want to deal with us, and if they're gonna sell us Danny Ings, it's not going to be the Daniel Levy special. They were not happy with how the Højbjerg deal went down.
And I was confused about that. Was there accusations that we were tapping up? Was that what they were saying?
Something like that. And like they agreed to a fee. Daniel Levy has done that a couple times where he kind of agreed to like a numeric number, and then the week of or the day of, it goes down 2 mil or 3 mil, and it doesn't seem a lot, but some of these clubs,
they're depending on that money.
They're dependent. Every dollar counts, and mind you, I mean every dollar counts for Darren Levy, because how many deals have we lost to like 2 million, or coaches? I don't want to pay extra coaches $1 million, and so it's the Ings will seem easy, but the deal will be real hard. It would be easier dealing with Everton for Calvert-Lewin than trying to get Danny Ings from Southampton.
Really? I mean, I know it would be hard for sure. But
Yeah.
I know there's a contract situation also with Danny Ings that's sort of favorable for us. That he
Yeah.
refused to sign that contract, our new contract, which helps us, of course.
Yeah.
But Calvert-Lewin, do you think? I think Richarlison would also be a good shout.
Yeah. He just scored a hat trick the other day. Um, I
I don't see them
I'm not.
letting him go cheap at all.
Yeah.
I,
I
I would think like 70. It would probably take to get Richarlison.
Richarlison's okay. He's not my cup of tea. I guess maybe because I'm going for
That's
likeness.
what I was going to ask. Should we go
Yeah.
like for like, or should we think of maybe adding another dimension to our attack? Going with maybe a runner, someone that can run in behind, get on the end of through balls.
Well, if we were doing that, then I know it's a rumor that's out there, but I'm seeing from number of sources, even from the El Equipe, which is like the
Yeah,
major paper in France.
right. They hold some weight for
I
sure.
I would have Sonny paired with, but once again, this guy has a huge salary. So I doubt that will happen. But if we would pay his salary, Antoine Griezmann,
Oh yeah.
Song and Griezmann up front, that would be an interesting dynamic. Um, and um, and I'm envisioning, because I'm seeing reports that Gil, our new guy, he's so versatile. They want him to play up the middle. And for me, I'm envisioning a David Silva type of player in the middle. So can you imagine, that him being in the middle, and you're having up top Son and Griezmann?
Whew, scary.
Yeah,
That
it'll
would be
be
formidable
entertaining.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will be entertaining, and that, I mean, with a team like that, if we get, it looks like Romano is done. Conde may,
I've seen that. I've seen that come back up. Yeah.
yeah, it's coming back alive, and it seems that Conde is starting to. Sorry, Conde is starting to come around, maybe to Spurs. Though I'm the type, hey, if you want to play with us, come join us. If you don't want to play with us,
Right.
you
Yeah.
go.
I still
Yeah,
sort of have a bad taste in my mouth over alleged comments he made.
yeah, but we have that. I mean, we could be a top 4 team. And even with Kane still being there, we could be a top 4 team, because if we have Conde and Romano up the middle, oh, what was a bad defense is now top echelon.
Oh yeah, and throwing
Yeah,
Tomiyasu there right back, and we're looking
yeah.
real good.
And Reguilon, I mean, no one's messing with us. And then we got Rodon from the bench and Tanganga. I mean, that is, and then Cisse. And I know we want to get back to speculations. Cisse is so raw, and I mean, he's really a center back.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him play. And they say he may just play, the Europa Conference League. I think there's a good future for Cisse.
And I only got to see the first of our friendlies so far. I didn't get to watch Colchester. He was playing as a left back in the first friendly, right?
Yeah, he was playing on the wing, and he did okay. He did okay. He did really good. And then when I found out that he was a center back, I was like, "Oh man, okay."
He's one of those players. It seems like and I think we've all known one or two where they're just so good that they can play anywhere. I think, like they kind of just probably stuck him at center back because he can play wherever, and they needed a center back.
Yeah.
He strikes me as that type of player with just the athletic ability and the understanding of the game to be able to kind of play wherever.
Yeah.
He's probably played striker at youth level or something. I mean, that happens all the time.
But he's definitely raw. I mean, he's a raw talent, and
get him a loan somewhere. What level do you think he's at? What if we were to loan him? Championship, League One?
I would do the same skip route. I would go to a championship. Maybe call up Norwich, call up some of the clubs, and just like, hey, here's a raw 18-year-old, 19-year-old center back. I was really impressed by him, because I honestly did not know of him. I wasn't too familiar with him until that first game against Leighton Orient, and and I was just like, wow, Cisse has really impressed me. But yeah, Griezmann could be if the rumors are true, a striker, forward, you know,
Kind of more
replacement.
of and more of a runner too. And it's cool that you mentioned him. He plays obviously with United still, and United don't seem. I mean, I know he plays for them regularly. He gets game
You,
time, but
you mean
he's not.
Barcelona?
Wait,
Gri-
Antoine. Oh, Antoine
Gris-
Griezmann. Why am I
Griezmann.
thinking? Man,
Oh, you think Martial?
I really
Yeah,
was. I
yeah,
really
you
was.
think Martial?
I don't think Griezmann would ever. I don't think Griezmann would ever agree to come to Spurs. But what about? Do you think he would? I read in a thing, an article yesterday that stated that he was going to run down his Barcelona contract unless he got a move back to Atletico.
Yeah. Well, he's also the same guy that says he wants to play for Miami, MLS. Like he seriously said he wants to play in MLS,
He
and
knows
not when
he knows he'll be getting paid, getting
yeah,
some money, man.
yeah. And he said he doesn't want to play here while he's old. He actually want to play while he's still good. So Antoine Griezmann says a lot of stuff. He might he likes the nightlife. He may be lured into coming to London. I mean, possibly, but
Yeah, that's a good point. There is the draw of London. London is a city I'd love to live in.
yeah.
Antoine Griezmann at Spurs, that would be nuts. He hasn't exactly had the best of times at Barcelona, but
Nah, and which I'm shocked. When he first got there, I thought, oh man, this is gonna be great.
yeah, it seemed
Suarez,
almost unfair. Yeah, like they were
yeah,
getting such a good replacement for Suarez.
and Suarez was Suarez was still at the team at that time. So I was thinking it was a new, like kind of like an MSN when they had Neymar, Messi, and Suarez. So I was thinking, okay, it would be now Messi, Suarez, Griezmann, well MSG, Master Garden.
That's awesome.
Uh, um, but it never worked out that way. And then of course Suarez moved on, went to Atletico, and
See, I was confused. I for some reason thought those transfers happened, and one was kind of to replace the other. You know, that Suarez was going to Atletico to replace Griezmann, who was coming to Barcelona. I didn't understand that they happened in different transfer windows.
yeah, they played together, and they
Okay.
also had Usam Dembele,
Mm-hmm.
who's always injury prone. If this guy can ever stay healthy, he would be amazing. But he can't stay healthy.
He was
So
the next big thing for the longest time.
yeah,
You heard his name everywhere. Yeah, but I can't believe I hadn't thought of Anthony Martial until you said Griezmann, and I thought Martial in my head. But he's actually a good shout too. We know that Poch wanted him. He does play as more of like a winger, but I could see him playing a striker, sort of similar to when we have Sonny up front.
yeah, yeah. I I don't know. Martial is very talented. I actually thought he would be consistently scoring 20 goals when United first got him.
Yeah.
But then again, I think it's Ali. I feel there's some players who are not being used well. So here's another speculation nation, right? They were saying that if Kane was gone, um, because he could play the false nine, and I love this player, and I think this player is great, but they play for United. They don't know how to use him well, and I think it's the same thing with Martial. Donny van de Beek.
Oh man, yeah,
Love the
he's the
dude.
truth for sure.
Love to do that Ajax. I was like, man, if we kept being linked to him, I said, if he could become a Spur, I'm getting his jersey. Get his jersey. And we had a chance to get him. We dropped the ball. I'm telling you now, we had a chance to get him last year. We dropped the ball. And he went to United. I was like, crap. But it took 2 months. He was already not happy because they weren't using him well. And they still haven't used him well. Now I hear that they want to raise some more funds to get some extra players. So they are offering Donny van de Beek. I would, like I said, speculation, if Kane was gone, I would go after Donny van de Beek.
That's actually a really good shout as well.
Yeah.
He impressed me in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. He makes the most amazing runs. Oh man, He is especially into the box. He knows how to score. What you saw last year at United was not the true him, or he can't cut it in the Premier League. He could cut it. He just needs to be on the right team. You get Donny Van de Beek on the right team, this dude can be lethal. He could be a huge pain in your tush because he's good, but he's just on the wrong team.
And it's I was actually talking to Tommy earlier,
Mhm.
Tommy Talks Ball, about how players can be underutilized by their manager or not thrive in a certain system but thrive elsewhere. We were talking about specifically what happened with some players at Spurs, Dele in particular, and I think he's a victim of that also, of not being utilized correctly. I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think was Dele's fall from grace?
Um, I'm gonna say yes and no, and here's the reason why. Of course, he came into fruition, became a star under Poch, but then it started to wane. It started to wane, and this is where it came with attitude, not being focused, and then when Jose Mourinho came in, he called him out. Hey, where's Deli? Yeah, I see Deli's brother, but I don't see Deli. He called him out, so he got challenged, and he scored about 8 or 9 goals that first spell, that first month, and I was like, oh wow, Deli's back,
It
and
seemed like
then
it.
he regressed. I think with him, it is an attitude focus problem. Even watching the preseason games, and I know he scored, I was just like, he he's lost it. And for me, all right, he could maybe be sold to PSG and come back, and but I just think his time with Spurs is done, and I don't think it's coaching. I think it's just him. It's him. It really is. I think
So,
it's just him. It's just he's more like I joke around. He's more worried being a boohoo model. Um, you know,
sleeping with
or
Pep Guardiola's daughter.
yeah, Pep's daughter having that Bob Marley look. It's just like and it's just
So
you know.
keep or sell. You sell him if the right bid comes in.
Oh, if there's a bid
What
now,
would it take for you? What would it take for you to sanction that bid?
I'm not gonna be ridiculous. Like Winks out 5 mil. Yeah, take him 10 minutes. Wait, I'm not that crazy with Deli Ali to say 5 or 10. I'm like, hey, look, he still is one of, one he scored 50 goals, the fastest for a midfielder, and some crazy stat that he has. I would say, if someone seriously came in for a 35 to 40 bid,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's the highest he's ever. I don't think he's ever going to go to 50, 60, but maybe 35, 40. If someone says, hey, here's 40 mil, take it. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it.
I think this is going to be a hot take, but I think 25, and I might take it.
If you tell me to sell him for 25 because you want to use that 25 to say wrap up, well, Romano is going to be wrapped up, so you're very wrapped up. But if you told me that you were going to get Kessie from Milan or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, yeah, I'll take it, take it. Yep, yeah, I'll drive him, and I'm in Florida. I'll find some way. I'll drive him over there. I'll drive him to PSG. You can be reunited with Poch, but then again, I say PSG. PSG actually doesn't need him. I mean, they're loaded. They're
It's
loaded.
true.
And apparently they
And
go
they
for,
just got Gigi Wijnaldum.
yeah. I hear that they got a good chance of getting a Pogba, and I'm like, if that happens, there's no way Poch is leaving PSG to come to us with the
But
team that he's building.
we know he doesn't like big egos, and Pogba's the definition of big ego.
Yeah,
So
but
that's one thing you got to think about.
but he's talented. He's a talented Eagle.
Can't deny that at all. All right, so we've speculated about Kane. We've speculated about replacements, and we've just speculated about some other random stuff in general. I think that about wraps it up, Mari. I appreciate you being here for the very first episode of Speculation Nation.
Oh man, it is an honor. And I love how that rolls off the tongue. Speculation Nation.
Speculation Nation. Yep, it's. I'm trying it out. This one was rough, but the first ones are always a little rough.
Yeah, no, well, like I said, we support each other, and some of the best ones that are out there who are at 1,000 or 2K. They started with one, so that's their encouragement for us, and having a good support system of those who encourage us to do our best.
Definitely, we gotta support all Spurs creators. With that said, Mari, what are you? You're on social media, and do you have this YouTube channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, and I just changed the name just to shorten it, because it's a little bit too long, and so I changed it. But my YouTube channel is, and I'll tell you right now, as I pull up my Mari, of course, Mari from that Spurs episode. So it's Mari from that Spurs episode. You can also find me on Twitter. Same thing, Mari from that Spurs episode. It's a channel that we're
Yep.
going to talk Spurs talk, and then I'm gonna have another episode where we just talk about general, like it be European, South American, MLS,
Cool.
whatever type soccer. So it's gonna be launched in a week.
That sounds awesome, man. You everybody watching this, make sure that you get over there. You subscribe to Mari's channel, like any of the videos he's got up. Anything helps. And also, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel and hit like on this video. Past videos, comments on some stuff. It'll make me happy. I'll smile a little bit. By the way, before we go, Mari, Sunny, how does that Sunny news make you feel?
Oh, ecstatic.
Woo!
Ecstatic. I was so happy. Today was a good day for Spurs Nation.
It really was.
And Don Paratici got that done. And so I'm really excited. I'm really, really hopeful. June was rough. June was really rough. And now I'm just so encouraged.
Right.
And
There's only 5 weeks left. The signings got to start rolling in.
yeah. So I'm encouraged, and seeing Sonny sign and just the words, like, this is home. This is home to him.
Yeah, no, I know. It almost brought a tear to my eye. I was feeling, got me this morning. But,
yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, me and Mari are out of here.
All right. Coys, come on, you Spurs.
Woo!